Dave knows how.
Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we're going to address a little issue that I have had with this Woods Brush Bowl 60-inch brush hog. This is an issue I've had since the day one that I bought this thing. It just didn't settle right with me. And if you watch my video about spinning the PTO, the clutch on the brush hog for the PTO drive, I talk about that issue in that video, and I'll put a link to that video at the end of this video, so you can click and go back and take a look at that video. And one of the things that I'm talking about is this safety shield that is located around the clutch pack on this brush hog. And it's the same type of safety shield that they put around a lot of these brush hogs. All the new brush hogs have this plastic shield, and it's fine, it serves its purpose, but it makes it extremely difficult to spin the clutch, mark the clutch, and locate the measurement to put the clutch back where it needs to be at. So we've got to spin this clutch for the summer season, and don't do a lot of brush hogging, but I got a lot that I need to go brush hog. And before I do that, I want to rotate this clutch and spin it and make sure it's working properly. First thing we're going to do is we're going to pull the clutch off. So over here on this side, if we look up in behind where the clutch is, here's the clutch pack right here. And if we look up inside there, we've got a bolt that goes all the way through here that holds that thing on. So we've located a socket that'll fit it. Let's see what size that is. Should be the same on most all of these. 3/4 inch socket fits that. We need to see what size fits the other side over here. Same size fits the other side. We're gonna, okay, so we got him turning. We're gonna get another 3/4 socket and a ratchet. Stick him on there. Might need an extension. Get this down in there, and then we'll there we go. We got him out. Looks like they got a little grease on it to make it a little easier to come out. And hopefully they greased up that shaft in there, and we're hoping that this whole thing will just slide right off. Oh, feels a little stiff. Yeah. Alright, so we're going to rotate this thing around, and as we rotate it around, we're looking on this collar right here to make sure that there's no retaining bolt or set screw up in there, and it doesn't look like it is. It's actually spinning on the shaft. Okay, and then we'll push it back. It is free floating on there now. And we'll look at the front and make sure we don't have a clip on the front that actually holds that on. It's kind of difficult to see, but I don't think there is a clip on there. Yep, it is a clip on there. Wow. And that's really going to be hard to get back on. There's a clip on this thing, and ironically, that clip is barely on. We'll bring the camera around, and I don't know if this is going to show up or not, but I'm going to put this camera up in here and see if I can get something to point with. So, following this extension down, right here, there's a clip right there on the end of that shaft, and that clip is about to fall off of there. So that clip was never fully seated on here. So I am glad that we pulled this off and looked at that. We got to try to get that clip out of there. Alright, so I guess the first thing I'm going to do is just try to pop it off like this, since the clip is almost all the way off anyway. And it actually is coming off. I got a pair of, there's a tool that you use to put that clip on, but I don't even know if I could even get the tool in there or not. That clip, that clip fell right off. It looks like the clip fell right off. So let's go ahead and slide this off. Rotate this around. So that got that off. Now, where'd the clip go? Oh, there it is. So this clip right here is supposed to hold this on in the event that that bolt breaks. This is supposed to hold that thing on, and this clip was not fully seated in the groove. And you know, had that thing had that bolt that we pulled out of there, this bolt right here, which this is a grade 8 bolt, so it's not likely to break, but had this bolt broke, this shaft could have came flying off because this was not fully seated from the factory. So that's not saying good things about Woods. Woods Implement Company, y'all need to get it together on your quality control. This thing was obviously not all the way on. Now, I've noticed something else. If we look up inside here, move the camera over a little bit and hopefully it's showing up, but we've got a bolt right here that's backed out. This thing is backed out over a ½ inch out of there. It's almost completely out of there. So that's not good. Let's see if I can figure out what socket it is. Looks like it's a ½ inch. And we'll get a extension and a ratchet. Mighty hard backing that thing out of there. Almost like it's might have been put in with Loctite, not fully tightened. The Loctite hardened. I don't see any Loctite, but one thing's for sure, this bolt that holds this shield on was not fully secured. It had backed out, so it was either not fully secured at the factory or it backed out due to vibration over a period of time, which I kind of doubt, because you know, I haven't had this mower very long and I don't use it that much, so I don't know. But anyway, let's see if we can get up in there and get the other. We got 3 more in there. Let's see if we can get in there and get them other 3 out. Oh, that one's loose as a goose too. Yeah, that thing's loose as all get out. All right, so now we got the cover off right there. And that's out of the way, so that's good. So yeah, you can see that this retaining clip, move in a little closer here. This retaining clip right here, it seats in that groove, and it was not in there. It was not fully in that groove. It's partially on there, but it wasn't fully seated. So it's a good thing I took this off. We're going to get a rag and wipe this up on here. And we're going to try to build something a little bit better than what we had. Cause I just don't like this this style of safety shield. It's just, you know, it's not easy to get in there and readjust these clutches and whatnot. So I'll run over here and get a couple of rags and wipe this thing up a little bit. Okay. We got a rag, and we're just going to wipe this up, clean it up a little bit. That thing right there almost feels like they cross-threaded that thing, or the casting wasn't tapped out properly. It looks like it's going in that cross-threaded, and that ain't good. So that's why that bolt wasn't all the way in there. They cross-threaded the that bolt going in there. Well, the only thing that we can do is try to clean this up in there, clean them threads out. We'll find out what thread pitch this is, get a tap, bring it over here, and try to get it lined up straight, and try to run a tap back down through this hole and try to straighten them threads out if we can. You know, we might not be able to. And that's clearly going in there crooked. You know, so they clearly cross-threaded this thing. You know, you can see the angle that it's on. And he just, you know, did a piss poor job on it. Yep. So I'm a little disappointed in Woods right now for doing that. But you know what? These things happen. You know, it's just a shame that the person that did it, you know, they knew they did that when they did it. They knew they put this in there wrong when they did it. And it's just a shame that, you know, that they couldn't have caught the problem and fixed it. And then, you know, it wouldn't be left up to me, you know, to try to fix it. And if, you know, if I wasn't changing out this cover, you know, trying to create a better cover, I'd have never known that this was like that until this bolt backed out and got caught up in that clutch and, you know, wrecked something or tore something or made a big fuss. And by that time, you know, who knows, this bolt might have came loose and came out. And with this pin not being fully seated, you know, that whole shaft could have come flying off of there, and that could have been disastrous. Disastrous to the brush hog, and disastrous to the tractor as well. You know, because if it caught that PTO transmission in a bind and sent a shock load up through it, it could have damaged that PTO transmission on a tractor. Anyway, we're going to take some measurements. So we're going to measure this diameter of this right here shaft, and if we can, well, anyway, we're going to measure this diameter of this shaft, and we're going to mark that measurement down. We're going to measure from the outsides of these bolts to the outsides of these bolts. We're going to mark that measurement down. We're going to measure the thickness of this bolt, and we're going to subtract the thickness of this one bolt off of this measurement, and the number we come up with is going to be centered on those bolt holes. Then we're going to measure from down here underneath this bolt to up here on top of this bolt. Write that measurement down, and then we're going to take the measurement of the thickness of this bolt and subtract it from that measurement, and then that should give us the center of these two bolt holes, which will be the same here and here, and then this one will be the same from here and here. And we're going to put those measurements on a new plate, on a new base plate, and we're going to build us a new plate to go across here to hold a new safety shroud. So that's the plan. Let's take those measurements and get them scribed out on a piece of metal.
Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.